and the anxiety, I slowly went towards it. It wasn't like I didn't fall in love, as they say, but I slowly started accepting that yes, this is my path now, and I have to help people. So I have divided my work into two parts. I take from the rich and I give to the poor. I call myself Robin Hood. I do career counseling to earn the money, and I help underprivileged children with the money that I earn. So, with the result that my bank account is never really full, but my life is really full, you know. So, that's what I tell people, that, it's not necessary to have a lot of money to be happy, to be content, to be satisfied with your life. It's more important to understand how you're helping humanity. How are you making a difference? Is your life really making a difference to other people's lives? To make them feel mentally happy, mental well being for me now is very important. I have helped people all across the world. I have had sessions early in the morning in Manhattan, late in the evening with others who are in Japan or Dubai and things like that. So it has been a wonderful journey, and I will not take up more time because I'm sure the other panelists also have a lot to share.
Thank you, Savera. It's been an inspiring story for sure. And we'll hear from you a lot more and extract the best out of you today. Okay. So, yeah. So now over to Rishi. Rishi, I've been knowing from a couple of years and I have watched his transformation over these 10, 12 years. So, Rishi, over to you. We would like to know what made you transform and get into fitness. And you were a qualified clinical dietitian and fitness dietitian. So, I would like to, and our entire audience would like to know what has been your journey and why you opted for it. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. So, firstly, about Savira's journey, I think applauding the effort, because everybody doesn't have the courage to basically let go money and then put it for the others. So, I relate to it because I have somewhat a similar journey. So, the summary view is that I've been working with Fortune 500 companies like Oracle, Adobe, etc. And the funny part is that I have been working out since 19, 20 years now. My age is 37 years. And how my organization is called RBFWG. So we changed the name from Rishi Bell Fitness WG. These days short forms are everything. So I was in, so like I said, I was working out since 18, 20 years, but like Tarun mentioned, she's known me since a while. I was always very obese, even though I had put in 2 hours every day in the gym. So one day I was fortunate, my organization, Adobe Systems, had sent me to Miami. So there I was at a beach, and what happened was I see all those fit peoples walking by, and I thought, what's the use if I've been working out since 15 years, then I can't even take off my shirt. So that's the time I realized how important diet may be, how important science might be, how important it's applying all those principles to my workout and diet might be. Otherwise, I used to think like normal people used to think कि ठीक है भाई I work out तो मैं सब कुछ खा पी सकता हूँ. But it's the other way around. If you put in more effort, you need to put in more effort throughout your day. So everybody, then basically my journey started. I started studying, and then I studied. I started studying sports nutrition, then clinical nutrition, then personal trainer. My parents like, what is happening to this guy? Why is he studying so much? I was like, no, 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 I'm missing something. So I studied, and then I was working at executive positions in Fortune 500 companies. I let go of those roles. I was earning exponentially well, and I had a very comfortable life. But I was like, no, I want to contribute further. And I'm very fortunate. My mother, she practices Buddhism. I am someone who goes to the Gurdwara a lot. So overall, I believe in God a lot and faith. So I started this journey, and eventually, fortunately, now I individually have transformed roughly 1,000 plus men and women globally. I do both workout and diet plans. Like Savira, I work global clients, UK, US, Australia, Dubai, and I have a social media presence. I keep motivating people, for example, how they can work out with a 2-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old kid, how anybody who might be 60, 80 age might be just a number, somebody who might
Mhm.
have an injury, how they can work out, lifestyle hacks,
Lovely,
because
lovely.
mental health is everything. It's a combination of both. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is a gist about me. Now
That's
I'll.
a very inspiring journey, Rishi. Definitely, I mean, didn't know this part of the story. So I think more to unfold as we move along. Now over to you, Vandana. Vandana is a hardcore fitness person again, and that's in her blood. I think running in her blood since she was not even married. So this is a story her husband told me, and then I think she qualified as a chef because she's a cook by heart. But then she wanted to get into different modes of cooking, which are more prone to improving people's health. And finally, now she runs a vegan cafe. So over to you, Vanda. Just a brief introduction in the sense your personal journey, why and how.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you, Taran. Thank you for
welcome.
having me in this panel, and it's a very relevant topic, for today. So in this pandemic, so I feel my journey actually, before I start, I'll just give you a brief of what a vegan means. What is vegan? So a vegan is basically, when it's a plant-based diet and there's no animal products or anything like dairy and everything, so it's all free of that. So how my journey started was, like, I think in my teens I trained to be a fitness instructor, and and I learned about health, I learned about nutrition and how important it is, to stay fit, to eat the right things. So, and being a chef, being a passionate cook, I, enrolled myself into, like classes, and I became a trained pastry chef. I trained with the Oberois. I wanted to learn more of how to cook, so I kept on, this quest kept, taking me further. So, so I knew that health is very important for me, and to stay fit as well, I have to eat healthy. And I cannot, being a Punjabi, I cannot eat, bland food. So I had to create recipes which were so tasty that, I would not want to eat the fattening stuff. So this is how I started my cooking classes for, people. And then then this I started getting requests for, like, vegan food and vegetarian options, because a lot of people around I saw that were going through a lot of allergies, because of milk. So a lot of people were dairy intolerant, and they would ask me that, why don't you, teach us something which is without dairy, without animal products. And so first, I tried it on myself. So first I tried, becoming vegan myself. And then I saw that, there were so many options available that it was, amazing that, a plant-based diet is not boring. And the more I got into it, the more, like I started, realizing that being a vegan, you can actually be, saving the planet, because the greenhouse gases which come, like, are much more than the actually the factories that are producing that, the pollution. And also so many diseases like heart disease and all these lifestyle diseases are, caused by an animal, like, products, which is the dairy and the meat, and they're cancerous as well. So I switched to this thing, and I wanted to create a place where people can, just come and eat without even thinking that, they're eating healthy food. So that led to my cafe, which is the Good Stuff by Vandy's, and I opened in 2019 in Sector 50. So, and the dishes that we were like, because I'm very fond of Pan Asian, so I used to, like, create all these Pan Asian recipes with soba noodles, which are, like light, and then, the or different cuisines that I've had, like, like different stir fries and everything. So
Wonderful,
all these
wonderful.
things, yeah.
So I
So
think these journeys of all the three of you are very inspiring. In fact, I take one point which Vandana just mentioned, saving the planet. I think this is awesome because we all working towards not only transforming lives but also saving the planet indirectly in some ways. It's nice. So this has set the mood of the entire webinar. Now I'll go to Savera. So, Savera, honestly, with this entire COVID situation from past 1.5 years, particularly, has created a turmoil in the mind space of people, and that is a truth because even if you don't have I would say a loss of life in your neighborhood or your near and dear ones, but at least that fear and the stress which has built
I think we lost Taran.
yeah.
We'll just wait for her to get back.
Sure.
So meanwhile, what do you think, Vandana? I mean, what is the best dish you can introduce to the group for as far as vegan is concerned?
So, like the dishes which I make.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Meanwhile, we'll
I
have
think
the benefit of having those delicious ones from you.
Savira has tried many of my dishes, and and she's very fond of my meze platter, which I do, and then I do the cow sway, which is again a Burmese dish with coconut milk, and I do a soba noodle salad, which is gluten-free noodles. They're made of buckwheat, and so this is again something which is very healthy. So it's being a noodle, but then we're making it into a salad. So these are some of the best sellers, in my cafe, and a lot
Pad
of
Thai
ice
noodles.
creams, lot of ice
Pad Thai.
creams,
Pad Thai. You
pad
forgot.
thai, pad thai, which is the Bangkok style pad thai that we do. So this is all the kind of things that we love doing there, and I create new ice creams and desserts with coconut milk and almond milk. So a lot of yeah. So you have to. I think I'll have to send you some stuff
So
for you to
somebody,
taste.
yes, somebody in the audiences, I mean, they are already asking for your dishes. So they are
Okay.
asking if they can order.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
can you
They can
please tell
order
them?
because right now we are a cloud kitchen. So yeah, so they can order. We can send you the link, in the chat box where they can just order from us directly.
Great. So UJ is the guy who was asking, and UJ, she will be just sending it, I think, whenever she'll get that time midway.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we can ask, Rishi. Rishi, can you give us some good tips? I mean, what we can do at home to stay fit? Maybe, when I'm sitting at office right now, can you give some quick hack?
Yeah, sure, sure. So, it always starts from the diet first, okay, which is the tough part, and then we move to the workout. So, I'll answer the diet perspective quickly. Try and follow simple principles around portion size. That's one, okay. Sometimes when we consume meals, especially the delicious ones like pad thai and some yummy food, anything that we consume, always keep in mind a rough portion size. That's point number one. Point number two, the misconception that I see in India is, example, consuming fruits and vegetables,
Mhm.
and yet we don't lose weight. This is a common question that comes up. you
Yes.
know the flip side of this is both these sources are carbs, okay. Fruits are carbs, vegetables are carbs. So if we do a math, the carb intake goes much higher for people who might be feeling lighter within by only consuming fruits or vegetables, but that's not the case. For example, if you're a vegetarian, you can consume paneer, tofu, soy once or twice a week. Soy, because it has few components which are not good for men's testosterone level. Otherwise, kala chana, chickpeas, these are good protein sources. And then, of course, for non-veg, you have chicken, fish, white, no red meat. It's not good for LDL, cholesterol, and a lot of reason. Also, third component I feel missing is fiber intake. Fiber is usually less when it comes to natural sources of food. So you can consume isabgol in those cases. Now I'll come to workouts. A simple formula that most of the audience can follow is weighted walks. What is weighted walks? For example, Dheeraj, you're sitting or you have a call, okay, and you in parallel want to get a workout done. You wear ankle weights on your hand or your this thing ankles, and then you walk with it. So the best part is you burn more fat, you lose inch loss in parallel. Plus, we don't need to apply our mind. For example, if it's a strategic workout, we'll do push-ups, pull-ups, all that, right? So you get away from all that. And there's another option. You can just buy a weighted jacket from Decathlon or these sources, wear it, and then basically walk. So these are two simple ways on how you can at least lose a lot of fat and gain muscle in parallel.
Amazing, amazing. So, I mean, these were the quick hacks by Rishi, and Taran is here. So, over
Yeah,
to you.
I'm sorry. There was a major technical glitch and I had to actually log in again. So sorry about this. So I'm sure Savera has answered. Was I audible that time or should I put that
No.
question again?
You
Okay.
can ask it again.
Okay. All right. So I was just talking and I didn't realize I'm out of focus. Okay. So basically, I wanted to ask you, Savera, that this entire situation of pandemic has really created a fear, come stress, come agony eventually, right? But then this fear and stress combination has taken a turmoil on everybody's life. So how do you think, because this starts from a thought, and that thought develops into a stress, and that stress you actually takes a toll on your body and your eventual well-being, right? So we would like you to throw light on how to actually block this thoughts which are negative to us, and how to practice on blocking this thought so that it does not build up.
Okay, so we call this the Gestalt theory, in which we are talking about the thought, feeling, action cycle, right? So first the thought happens, then you get a feeling of fear, like you think that something bad is going to happen, then you get the fear, and then you move into the action of, or inaction in this case. What happens is you freeze, especially with anxiety. You have panic attacks. I have a lot of people coming to me with panic attacks, and a lot of people coming to me with things like that. We are so anxious that we can't sleep, insomnia. So there's a lot of loss of life as well as loss of livelihood which has happened. So both these are really troublesome, very disturbing to everybody, and I'm sure here also people have felt that. So there is a very simple method which even our prime minister has been advocating, which is the pranayam. Pranayam actually really, really helps. I myself went through a very bad COVID episode. I was hospitalized, I was in the ICU, but now you can see I'm fine after a month of recuperating. And mostly it was because of the positive thought as well as a lot of breathing exercises. So, deep breathing exercises help in calming you down as well. So whenever you start getting anxious or an anxiety attack is coming on to you, the best thing to do is to deep breathe. So we all know Anulom Vinom, you shut one and you please, try that out. That is amazing. I have actually seen on the oximeter that when my oxygen was 91 and I did this for precisely 2 minutes, it went up to 96 and 97. And it was amazing. My husband saw it and he says, "My God, this is like a miracle." And it really is a miracle, right? So deep breathing is something really that helps you to calm down,
Right.
right? The second thing in thought stopping, we call it thought stopping. So if we've all seen that roadside sign of a red stop, right? So whenever I tell my clients, I tell them, whenever you think that you're going into a thought spiral, we call this a downward spiral. just visualize that thought stopping sign, just that stop sign in your mind, and
Visualize.
distract yourself.
Visualize.
Immediately think of something happy. Think, go, and the best thing to do, which I do a lot, is watch funny movies. Just switch on, and I bought a whole lot of them, the Purani Golmaal, and Chameli Ki Shadi and stuff like that. I know it sounds really funny, but it really really helps you to change your mood and to break that cycle. So breaking that cycle actually stops the whole domino effect, you know.
Right.
So breaking that cycle is amazing. Stand up comedy. My daughter in the middle of the night will start laughing like a witch. I actually get scared and I go and check कि ये ठीक तो है. She's actually watching a lot of stand up comic shows, and laughing like crazy, really rolling down on the floor with laughter, ROFL, which they call, right? The other thing that really helps is walking barefoot on the grass. Now you'll be saying, "Subeh subeh jo dew fall karti hai." I'm sure Rishi will also agree. It's really good for your health. Walking barefoot earths you to the earth, right? And it really makes you feel good. It's excellent for your eyes also. You know that that feeling that grass under your feet really grounds you and does not make you go into an anxious spiral again. The third thing that we do a lot is you know putting a lot of loban agarbattis. I know this sounds very religious. It isn't. It is actually energy, and we have to understand the energy around us. So mopping the floor with sea salt is amazing. It's really really good. Just put a little bit of sea salt. You can also put sea salt in your bathing water. When you take a bath, just put a little bit of sea salt. Keep it in a closed container, because if you keep it open it'll get moist. Closed container in the bathroom, and just put it when you're going to take a bath, 1 teaspoon, and it really cleans your aura. You feel fresh. You feel as though all the negative energy has just gone into the drain, right? Also, keeping air purifying plants is amazing. So you have all these snake plants, mother plants. Money plant is also an air purifying plant, right? Positive affirmations to yourself. So I say, in the day when you're doing things, you might forget to do it. So when you get up and you go and you brush your teeth, you're looking at yourself in the bathroom mirror, that's when you start giving yourself positive affirmations. I'm the best. I love life. Life is good. I'm going to conquer this. डर के आगे जीत है. Whatever you want to say to yourself and make yourself feel good. This is not the end of the world. I haven't hit rock bottom. Whatever you want to say, right?
Right.
All these things, believe you me, they go somewhere in your brain, in your subconscious, and they make you feel good and you start feeling light. If you start the day right, you will have the whole day feeling light. That's what I
Yeah.
say to
Yeah.
everybody.
So you actually talked about self-love, which I
Yes,
think is a subject we have all missed on.
yes,
As we have progressed in life with our busy schedules, so we feel we have lost on this subject. I mean, we don't know this subject at all currently. We've lost on it. So self-love is something which is like a taboo today, because we feel that ye to hona hi nahi chahiye. We are all here to live for others. But
yes,
believe me, I have started practicing self-love, and I feel unless we don't do it, we can't serve the others also around us, right? So that is so very important to build ourselves, build our confidence,
right.
build a lot of positive aura around us. But I think this is something which has been missing, and I think we have to go back on that theory of self-love. And the best thing which you told the forum here is that get up in the morning, be in front of your best friend, which is your mirror, and talk to yourself and say that you're the best. So that actually cultivates a lot of inner energies out, and the whole day is absolutely positive and good. So I think there are a lot of takeaways if people really are noting down and make it a practice, and
Yeah, we
I
could
think
put the
consistently.
presentation up a little later.
Yeah, yeah,
and
sure.
uh, and also this "I'm the best" I've got from that movie Fir Bhi Dil Hai Hindustani, na?
Right,
He keeps
right.
singing that song, "I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best."
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
can also
yeah.
do that.
Absolutely. But for me, personally, I've been seeing, for me, motivation is Kareena Kapoor in that movie,
Ah,
you know, which
मैं
says,
अपनी
I'm my
favorite हूँ.
best, मैं अपनी favorite हूँ.
Yeah.
So, why not? Why not? So I think we need to practice, because now is a time for us to introspect, because our internal body scans have happened. Whoever's bodies were not contributing, or in the right shape, we've actually seen. So our internal body scans have happened. So now it is time that we kind of consolidate our own selves and see where we are going wrong, and make twists and turns, and then recoup, in terms of our daily lives, I would say. It's high time now. We need to do, and get
And
trained.
also one more point, Taran,
Yeah,
this self-love has to be guilt-free.
absolutely,
You don't
absolutely.
have to think कि मैं अपने
Yes,
आप को टाइम दे रही हूँ, मैं अपने आप को प्यार दे रही हूँ, मैं अपने आप को नर्चर कर रही हूँ, तो मैं किसी और को निग्लेक्ट कर रही हूँ. नो.
absolutely, absolutely. It's a complete science, because this has to build in on a consistent manner over time. You have to do it and practice it every day, and I think that is very, very important in building it. So now I'll go to Vandana, because vegan food is a term which has become very fashionable, honestly, Vandana, because I've been hearing this word from all the lifestyle environments. Okay. And now, going forward, you'll not be surprised to see maximum hotels getting into vegan food menu, specialized menu. So tell me something. I mean, I think the audience also would like to know: is this still a fad, or is it going to stay? And how do you kind of, I mean, I would say change yourselves and adopt vegan food when you are egg eaters, and your dairy product people, and your daily schedule has dairy products plus eggs in your routine. So how do you kind of change it, and how to
How do you
move out into
transition?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how, if you can just throw some light on that, please.
Sure. Thank you. So I feel I also, when I saw the celebrities like Amir Khan and all these Sonam Kapoor, everybody like turning vegan, and like I also too thought it might be a fad. But when I went into the research of that, that why vegan, why are people going into vegan? So then I realized that there was so much more to being vegan, because all these lifestyle diseases, like I told you, like young girls, adolescents getting PCOD, because of the the kind of steroids and things they are pumping into the animals. And this, when we are eating, it's all going into our bloodstream, and it's playing havoc with our hormones. So why all these young girls are getting all these problems like PCOS, PCOD, then heart disease, which is like the heart and cancer has become the biggest killers in India now, with diabetes and everything. And that, when you see, you realize that like all these dairy products and things which are coming from the animals, they are all contributing to the the carcinogenic things that we are putting in our body. So these are all cancerous. So later on, it might not immediately turn into that, but then your risk of getting all these things increases. But while on a plant-based diet, you're saving the planet, because you are like kind of all these, they will not do all this animal agriculture and clear forests and do this and use so much water that is used for supposed to be used for agriculture, so that all you're saving. Plus like the transition can be very easy, so I feel we have just made it like a thing that it's not possible, but actually it's very easy, because instead of milk and dairy, you can still now there's so many options available in the market, like you have oat milk, you have almond milk, you have cashew milk, you have rice milk, coconut milk, which is like a staple in the Kerala and all the South Indian states, which they're cooking in coconut oil and coconut milk. So all these things, we can replace anything which is dairy. We can replace. We can make yogurt out of the milk, and these days Epigamia and all these companies, they've started doing coconut yogurt. They've started doing all these different kind of versions of all these ice creams which are all dairy free. Even in there's so many artisanal brands coming up which are, because this is not a fad. This is actually saving yourself,
And
saving
the planet.
yourself and the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel, if you do a little bit of a change in your diet and you can contribute to your planet, I think that's wonderful, because you don't
So
have to do a morcha or anything. You can
yeah.
just
So
go and do this.
it is fabulous. But you know what? Savera, Rishi, and Vandana, whatever you're telling us is very good. But it's just a mind twist. You
It's
have to
his mind.
change your mind shift.
Yeah.
So what are the techniques to do a mind shift? This is something which I really want you to give your hacks to the audience here. Because what happens is, I'll tell you an very basic problem which might be there, being faced by a lot of people here. Now we plan to go into that fitness mode, and we go and pay gym for a year, okay? And then 1 day, 2 day, 3 day is a thrill, but the fourth day, fifth day, we want our sleep. So we don't get up, or the assigned time, we don't really make it a consistent routine. So what is a way to kind of switch over, be mentally strong and say, so is there any hack where we can practice, are there any affirmations, Savera, which can really push us, and is there, I mean, I hope you understand, because this is a
Yes.
problem for everybody.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we use something called mindfulness, and I think this is something that Rishi will also be aware of.
Yes.
That and we've used it very successfully for people to give up smoking, right?
Okay.
So we actually make the person think how the lungs are getting affected when they're smoking, you know. So we start off with, okay, now you've taken the cigarette, you've put it in your mouth, and now the smoke is going in, and the smoke is going into your lungs, and your lungs are turning gray and grayer and grayer, and then you start coughing. Do you really want to be like that?
Sure.
You know?
Visualization.
So
Okay.
mindfulness, it's called, not
Okay.
only
All right.
visualization. It's your
Okay.
mind is actually thinking that you're smoking even when you're not,
Right.
right? Similarly, when you have to beat the inertia of getting into a gym, you have to think of what are the benefits of your going into the gym, right? So while you're lying down on the bed, you can think, अगर मैं नहीं जाऊंगा मेरी बॉडी की शेप क्या होगी, और अगर मैं जाऊंगा तो
Right.
मेरी बॉडी की शेप क्या होगी, you
That's
know.
right.
And
Yeah.
will I be able to take off that shirt on the beach,
Yeah, which she was mentioning.
right?
Yeah,
Or will I
that's
be
right.
able to take off that shirt on the beach and show my lovely tummy, right? So when you visualize that, you really feel like pushing yourself out of the bed and going, for
Wow.
that walk, for that run,
Mm.
for that wearing this weighted stuff. That I'm going to do that, Rishi, because
Right.
I'm one lazy person, you know.
Sure.
So you've given me one hack which I can do without actually going to the gym,
I
because
swear.
I'm
Right,
sorry to
right,
say
right,
this,
right.
I don't like
Wonderful.
going to the gym.
So
I
I,
like
I
the
just have
concept.
to, sorry, I'll just add this that, like, uh, you don't have to change, like in 1 second, or, just say that, okay, from now I'm not going to do this, because you will, fail. You will, like, face that, that cheat thing. But I feel, do it slowly, do it like gradually, say that, okay, if I was having this twice, thrice a week, I'll have it just once a week. Things like that, where you reduce it, and then slowly, you can eliminate it. And also, this is like kind of make it a, like a promise to yourself, and that it is only for your benefit. It is nobody else.
Yeah. I think
So pandemic has shown us,
it's
that's
been a
like
harsh time.
exactly
Yes.
what you have said, that it scanned you, it's shown you the mirror, that this is what you are, and this is where you are at in your health. So health is the paramount, because you cannot enjoy anything without your health, be
Yeah.
it money, be it any kind of comfort. you cannot enjoy it. If you are,
Absolutely.
breathing in pain, you cannot enjoy. You will be just, like suffering. So I think
Sure.
that promise we have to make to ourselves, that, to be happy, we need to be healthy. There is no
Sure.
other way.
Sure.
And mental wellness and, physical, all are depending on your food also.
Right. Right. Right.
Because you are what you eat.
Yeah.
So the moment you're eating junk, the body will process it like that, and
Right.
all those chemicals will
Adding
play.
to that,
Yeah,
Vandy, when you eat junk, your body also slows down, your mind also slows down.
yes,
Yeah.
You'll
absolutely.
feel
Yeah.
lazy, you'll feel like sleeping after that heavy meal,
Yes.
right?
And
And
yeah,
another thing that we say in mental wellness is it's okay not to be okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? It's okay not to feel good. It's okay if you haven't gone for a walk today. It doesn't mean you will
no,
not go for it at all.
Yeah.
no,
You don't have to be
yeah,
harsh. Here self love also comes in.
yeah,
So, but then you have to still maintain a cycle and a consistency. Now, coming back to Rishi, because Vandana just touched upon the right food mix and everything. So,
yes.
Rishi, you've been propagating a lot on science behind micros. So what is that? If you can just throw light and what should be done, in our daily routine in terms of consuming food.
Sure, sure. So it's something that we were discussing while your screen freezed. So, like I was saying, that people should even count uh, fruits and vegetables as a source of carbs.
Yeah,
So, what happens is that scientifically, people say, okay, I will go for a calorie deficit diet. Okay, this might be 1800 calories, but they don't think about the source where those 1800 calories are coming from. That is more important. So the parent category has to be macros. Macros is basically carbs, fats, and protein, these three individual sources. Okay, now if I say I'll consume 1800 calories only from fruits, that's not going to work out because it's going to give a major energy surplus. So saying that we need 1800 calories only is not right, but bifurcating that 1800 calories is important. That's why I think IBFWG has worked out, because the diet plans that we create, each meal macros are counted basis age, height, and weight, and then they are provided. So it's very important to calculate that,
So
and
it's
also
very
portion,
important to do it scientifically, not
also the
just
portion size. For
right.
example, you have 1 cup of dal and you have 2 cups of dal. There's a major difference between both.
Right, right. And what diet works for me might not work for you. So basically, it's your entire body, composition, which needs to be studied before you actually make customized plans and even go for it. So it's not a
Correct.
cut and paste kind of situation.
Correct,
So
correct. And
I
on
think
that
it's a
note, a
complete
quick
science.
note. So the most crucial component of any workout and diet plan is the individual who is following it. Okay, like all of the speakers here are saying, Savira, Vandana, the person who's following is most important. So we
yeah,
need to respect that identity, absorb all the inputs, create a custom workout and diet plan, but then the sign off should come from that person. So there's also a saying, only the disciplined ones are free in life. So we need to have some kind of discipline once that is carved out.
Right. So I think it has to come from within. So as simple as that. You cannot reach any goal till you decide that this is your goal and you got to achieve it in a particular period of time. So this is something which you need to sit with yourself and decide what you want. But I think it is high time we all decide to sit,
yeah,
find time to sit with ourselves because our bodies, I'll repeat the same word, has been totally scanned. COVID has told us where we stand. So
yeah,
before the third wave, which is a scare, is going to be knocking at the door, we need to, make ourselves stronger, at
yeah,
least try to make ourselves stronger and move towards it. So a combination of mind, combination of wellness, combination of food, combination of fitness, everything has to come together and add value to what we are in terms of an output so
yes.
that
Aman has a
we are
request
at the
for you.
beneficial mode. Sorry.
Aman has a request for you on the chat board.
Can I be unmuted?
Yeah. So just give me 2 minutes before I get into the FAQs, Aman.
Sure, sure,
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
just
Okay.
wanted to put on my presentation for 2 minutes.
Slides. Okay. So,
Because I want to talk about Ikigai for just 1 minute.
Sure.
okay.
I think Ikigai is very, very important for all of us.
Dheeraj, can you
Yeah.
just put on the PPT?
Yes.
Dheeraj, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So while he's putting on the slides, I just want to, talk about something which is very, very important, which all of us are talking about, but not really talking about. And it is Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese concept in which, there is a village in Japan where everybody has longevity and they live for more than 100 years. And it is basically, so if you see this photograph that I've put for mental health, it is about having this really peaceful and calm life, right? You see the sun rise and you see the sun set and you feel happy inside, right? Just the simple things in life. If you could move to the next slide. Yeah. So that has all the tips that I have already given. But I wanted to say that, this particular village, why has it been getting so much attention from the whole world? One, like Vandana said, they have a plant based diet and they actually grow the plants that they eat, right? Two, they have a community. So whenever we talk, if you see a TED talk on mental health and everything, so the first thing that comes up on it is social interaction, right? And that is what has been cut off for us right now to some extent in the pandemic. And that is what we are suffering from, not being able to meet our friends, not being able to meet even the postman down there. They say social interaction is just anybody that you say hello to, right? And that really increases your longevity, right? Also, the third thing which Ikigai talks about is your purpose of life, right? So it is the life that you want to live. So mental health is not a destination, it's a process. It's about how you drive, not where you're going, right? So it is about this whole journey. Everybody keeps talking about meditation and reaching there. No, reaching there is not so important as how you reach there, right? So are you living a physically fit, mindful, plant based, happy, socially interactive life? Then you're going to live long, you're going to be happy, right? Ikigai is also the passion that you have, that you want to get up every morning and face the day. It's literally like that phrase which people use, like, okay, she's got up and the devil says, oh crap, she's up. you know so we really want to live that kind of full life. If you want to live that kind of full life, it has to be that you have to have physical health for sure. You cannot be unhealthy. These 100 plus people actually going out and farming every day, they're looking after their kitchen gardens, they're living on their own, but they have such a strong community, right? There's also this very funny WhatsApp joke that goes around that, for a man to live a full life, he has to have a wife, right? Nobody mentions about what the wife needs. Let's not get into that. But basically, you need somebody who's a life partner, who shares and is a witness to your life, you know as it's like the observer and the observed is within you, but you also need somebody who witnesses your life, you know so if we look at Vandy and me, I've known her since school, right? And believe you me, her shape was very different at that time. And when I saw her again, I was completely shocked. She has completely changed herself. Her look, I don't know whether it's the vegan diet or it's the exercise or it's just thinking positively. I think it's a combination of all three. Right, Wendy?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
I
you
think
so
it is.
much.
It is. Oh, yes. And hats off. I feel anybody, I haven't seen Rishi, but if Taran says he was very different shape than before, hats off. Believe you
Thank
me,
you.
it takes a lot to reach there, right? But it also takes a lot to move within. Moving within is so, so important. And why are people feeling lonely? Because they don't know the difference of being alone and being lonely. Alone is not something which makes you feel uncomfortable or disturbed. Lonely is something that makes you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. So, Sadhguru says one thing. He says that if you feel that you're lonely, then you're not in very good company. That means you don't like your own company. So, another tip I would give you people is to start reading. We've all lost that connect that we used to have with books. Reading is such a beautiful way for nurturing yourself, and especially reading spiritual texts, at least at our age. I think there's no age for it, but
No.
there is this Hindu philosophy which says कि vanprastha ashram, after you're 50, you should start moving towards spiritual texts and spirituality. But I think I started moving towards it when I was 12, 13.
So my son is just 18 and he is into this mode of spirituality already, and he's reading books which are more on knowing psychology of human behavior, also.
Correct.
So he is going deeper and deeper to just be more tuned to the environment he's there, in college, and he's also doing his intern with decan. So basically he's growing from within. So
Yes,
this
and
is
I think
this is an
pandemic has
environment.
helped us do that, Taran.
But believe me, this environment and this generation is already aware of a lot of things, which we missed on in between because of that hustle bustle we had, But it's a regeneration of a generation now. I've seen his peer groups also quite aware of a lot of things. How they want to be, they're very clear, so they're working on how they want to be. So it's an insight
Also,
which you learn.
relationships have become so, so important now,
Yes.
because you're
yes.
losing your relatives, you're losing your friends, and then suddenly you realize there's a vacuum where that friend was or where that relative was,
No,
right?
that's true. And then after you lose it, the fight is more, because how do you kind of balance yourself? How do you manage it? How do you manage that gap?
Correct.
Because
So,
it
Taran,
just
you hit
shatters you.
the main word in life is balance,
So
right?
balance is a better word or a harmony? I mean, I
It's
don't know
whatever you want to
balance.
call it.
Okay.
See, your harmony is because you found your ikigai, you know what is the purpose in life, and you learn to balance between too much activity and too less activity. You learn to
Right.
balance between too much food and too less food,
Yeah.
right? You learn to balance between too much thinking, which is overthinking, and less thinking, right? So it is a balance that you're trying to achieve, an equilibrium in your life, which is very, very important. It is so, so important to be in the mean, which Shakespeare also says, He says actually the people who don't have too much money or too less money, the ones who are in the middle, are the
The
happiest,
happiest. Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In
Absolutely.
It's
Making
an
Awareness,
interest.
I'm
I Yeah, very true, very true. And I think one thing which I've realized is sitting with your own self and asking yourself what you need. A self talk, which we have all missed on because we feel that we are busy, busier than busy. So I don't know what that busy means, but then I think that is very important. That's a part of self care, self love. So you need to sit with yourself, ask yourself what you need, where you want to go, and what is your goal, and what is that you want to work on, short term and long term. But
Yes, and
that self
also
talk gives you a lot of solutions.
build connections with your family. So we call it a circle time, when all the gadgets are put away, all the internet and everything is switched off, and then the person says, yaar aaj internet nahi chala, apni family se mila, bade अच्छे लोग हैं, it's not a joke, it's a reality. All of us need to just shut down all the gadgets, including the Zoom
Absolutely.
talks, including the phones, including the TV, including anything else, and just sit and have meaningful, crucial conversations.
That's also detox.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we'll open
You know?
the forum for FAQs, because we would
Yeah.
probably want to hear if people have some doubts, and then you can address them. So we would request everyone to unmute and ask questions. Uh, and Ashish, if there are any questions in the chat, you can always take it up.
Hi, Taran. Actually, Aman Diwan here. Actually, I had two questions for Rishi, but I think I'll get on chat with him directly. And it was
Right.
related. Yeah, so I think I'll ask.
So I think he had a stop at 6:30 because he has a personal training at 6:30. So he didn't want to really jeopardize somebody else's time. So that was a request he had made. So you can
Sure.
always contact him personally.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can
So
share the numbers.
basically, I just wanted to know if you're exercising something daily, and then this intermittent diet, does this work? The second is the people who have had COVID and they were exercising earlier. So it is advised that you immediately don't get into the exercise, but yes, moderate exercise is okay. So how many times is moderate, and how much exercise? Is it cardio one should do, or should do just kind of yoga, whatever? So I just wanted to know, so that we have heard of some cases suddenly that something happened.
Yes.
This is
Passing
on
away.
Ankur Bhatia of Rosiat. He was on a treadmill, right? And this was just after COVID. So I just
Actually, in his case, he was in his cycling routine,
cycling. So
Yeah.
he was
and
doing
I heard it was not soon after COVID. His is a little stress case. It is not a post-COVID situation.
my question was about post-COVID and how
Yeah,
many.
right. That a lot of people have got affected.
Yeah,
You're right.
I'll get in
So
touch with.
if Savera and Vandana has an answer to it, otherwise we will address it.
I feel like I'll Savira, first you answer, then I'll put my like whatever input I have.
Yeah. So, since my brother's a doctor and he's constantly on my case because I'm post COVID and I have comorbidities, I've been told very strictly just listen to your body. If your body says it's had enough, stop and go and rest, right? Do not try to force your way through, which you used to do before, right? If you were able to do 500, you would do 1,000. Now if you're able to do 500, just do 500 and feel happy that you can do that much, right?
Same.
Like I said, breathing exercises and grounding is extremely important.
Important.
And give yourself time. Where is the time going? It's not a big hurry, right? And people who have long COVID suffer from 6 months to 1 year. So minimum, you have to give yourself 3 months to
Yeah.
get back to any kind of regime of exercising. That's
Great.
what I would say.
I second
Thank you.
that. Yeah.
And when you say grounding, you mean that walking on the grass?
On the
Yes.
grass.
Yes. Also,
Okay.
using sea salt to put it in corners in your house, putting air purifying plants inside instead of using an air purifier, because the air purifier, I don't know, it dries my whole esophagus and everything. I don't find it very nice unless it has a humidifier. And that is all, it's not natural. Why not go for natural things?
Yeah.
So if you have a Luban ki agarbatti and you put it around in the evening or in the morning. Also, one big thing that I missed out was chanting. Any kind of chanting, like Buddhist chanting, you have Gayatri Mantra in the morning, you have Mahamrityunjay in the evening. All these things ground you, and they're extremely powerful.
And
These
also they,
vibrations
yeah.
are
They send the vibration into your being, into
yes,
your heart,
exactly.
and actually energize you.
Absolutely.
Thank you
That is
so much. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you, Aman. Any other questions for our panelists? Please unmute and ask. Any queries you have, kindly unmute and ask.
I think we've answered all the questions, Taran.
Right, yes.
Which is a good
Yes,
thing.
I mean, whatever has been going on in the chat has all been answered.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think it's
lovely.
all taken care of.
Lovely.
Great.
So I would request you, if you want to speak to our panelists individually, you're most welcome. The numbers are all there in the chat box. And if you want to jump into Vandana's cafe, you can always give her a shout and flock in numbers there, so that she can serve you the way you want and introduce you to vegan food. So that's something which she's doing with a lot of passion. And Savera, you can always get in touch in case you want to have a one-to-one session with her.
So Taran, I would also like to say, the people who want to leave hoteliering and think of a second career can also get in touch with me.
Sure. Yeah. So you'll push them into counseling, is it?
No, I can do their career counseling with psychometric.
Okay.
And
lovely.
tell them what is the alternative to what path they're
So this is a hot topic in today's hospitality arena, and we had addressed this in our long 8-hour long summit on June 5th. We had addressed this as a separate topic, that there are alternate career options, and just not the hotel. So anybody who's a hotelier is at a good position, because everybody welcomes them with open arms. So it's not just the hotels. We can always opt for option B and option C. So that's something we need to really tune ourselves first and get out those stresses, thinking that we are not at a good position in terms of a hotel, the salaries are not good and all. But then there are other industries who are there to welcome us with the open arm. I think that is a mind shift we have to do first, and then get prepared. So a career counseling can be done by Savera with her psychometric test, and you can really position yourself comfortably, because those psychometric tests are very powerful, no doubts about it.
Empowering in the space you already are. There are some times where you feel that you've reached rock bottom, but I think that's a very good place to be in. Now you'll ask why. I say because you can only go up after that, right? So
touch the ground already.
Yes, absolutely. So empowering and getting to know what your strengths are, this is the time to do that. I'm actually getting personal coaching for myself and taking these strength tests and figuring out that what is the empowering space to be in, to do something with your life which is besides what I've been doing, right? So it can always be a parallel career also. It can be an alternative career also.
Sure,
whatever you want to do, right?
Right. So I hope this session of today's was pretty insightful for all our members who are there in the room today, and you have had some hacks to take back home and make it as a regular practice. So our request is that you do it, practice it consistently, and don't forget to indulge in self-love, because that's the first step for you to have a different you. And if you're a different you, then you will be able to add value to everyone around you. And that's very, very important. So if you've lost on it, please come back and start loving each other. But one thing, do believe in this, that you cannot make everybody happy. So just be very comfortable in your skin, love yourself, and just keep doing what you feel is the best, right? So that's about it. And thank you for all the inputs given and the time invested with us. So thanks a tons, and thank you each one of you who have joined us and been patient listeners. And I hope this adds value to your lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We would take the permission to close the session for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Taran. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Vandana.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.